It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Bhakti Moore, Deputy Chairperson and Associate Professor from School of Design and Architecture, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Dubai campus.
Hello, it's my pleasure to address to you all. I'm Dr. Bhakti More, architect and faculty at the School of Design and Architecture, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Dubai campus. International Conference on Built Environment in Science and Technology. This is a platform where I'm sure all of us are going to learn a lot from so many new and upcoming areas of research. I thank SRM Institute of Science of Technology, School of Architecture and Interior Design for organizing this conference and inviting me to share some of my areas of research. It is also not very easy to organize a virtual conference, and I really appreciate the efforts of the organizing team to put this all together. Urban heat island is a phenomena in which an area and city is significantly warmer than the surrounding. The session is on emphasizing the role of urban design and planning to mitigate urban heat islands in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. This is aligned with the Dubai 2021 and UAE's Vision 2021 to address the urban heat island effect as part of the climate change. Cities of the future should consider this mitigation and adaptation principles which are part of urban planning and design. This research on urban design and planning of neighborhoods for mitigating urban heat island in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, is co-authored with two of my very good friends, Priya Lucy de Souza from University of Sydney, Australia, and Sundara Vadana Gurushiv. The session will be divided into 5 areas where I would first introduce you to the urban heat island. Then we would look at some very interesting case studies and what impact UHI has on the cities and global warming, how urban form and materials have been very important in this whole study. Then we come to methodology to understand that land surface temperatures are the most important factors here. And that's where tools like GIS become an integral part of the research, where aerial images, geoprocessing tools, thermal remoting sensing data has been applied. And then we look at what can be done to mitigate UHI and combat climate change. And last would be the conclusion and recommendations. To understand what urban heat island is, there are 2 images here, which one talks on the rural area and other of the city, and you will realize that the city contributes a temperature which is 3 to 10 degrees warmer than the other rural area. Urban heat island, therefore, is an area which is significantly warmer, and the main reason is the human activities, which includes construction, the materials, the whole building surfaces that are used, and so many other factors. The annual mean air temperature of a city with 1 million people is about 1 to 3 degrees Celsius warmer than its surroundings, and in the evening, this can be as high as 12 degrees. Look at this urbanization, which is so rapid that the population shift has been happening in a very fast pace. Naturally, this is going to put a lot of pressure on our cities. And then the whole impact is on various areas, which includes global warming and climate change. Urbanization bias has introduced an artificial global warming bias, which is calculated into the global temperature trends. You can see how, as the urban sprawl increases, the impact of the heat island is also equally increasing. The shift or the change, the increase is also seen in globalization and urbanization and global warming, which you can see in these two diagrams that as we are approaching a population increase, this is also indicating an increase in the global temperature. Urban heat island effect arises due to many reasons. Absorption of incident radiation from the sun by built surfaces, which include tall building, the concrete surfaces from roofs, the road surfaces. So many of them totally contribute to temperatures which can be even like 10 degrees higher. Mean daily temperature increase is consistent with increase in urban development. The composition of land cover features significantly influences the land surface temperature LST. One of the case study here in Melbourne, Australia, talks about how the water sensitive urban design can be used to actively release water vapor via transpiration and reduce the impact of the heat in the surroundings. This urban thermal climate index can also be uh, measured in terms of the temperature difference, and it can be lowered to 10 degrees by using the right passive methods and mitigation strategies, including the green infrastructure. Climate change could devastate cities due to the urban heat island effect, and that's really true. There have been research that says overall costs of cities to limit climate change, including the local heat impacts, could be 2.6 times higher than that without the urban heat island effect. Why was summer 2020 Phoenix hottest on record? Three things to discuss: the weather, the urban heat island, and the climate change. Weather, because there could be some unusual movements in air which will probably cause impact in moisture content and then the microclimate. Urban heat island, because over the years there have been a lot of reasons for the heat to be retained in the day, and that is causing the change to make the temperatures more warmer and also cause the difference in the day and night temperatures. Climate change, because increase in the activities, the anthropogenic activities, is increasing the greenhouse gases, and that is definitely causing the entire climate change phenomena. The study that we have done in this area is in Dubai. So Dubai is the first modern city in the Arabian Gulf, distinguished from various other cities because of the magnificent urban development that is it has over many decades, and also the infrastructure and the facilities that it offers for people, leisure, business, and trade. The research is aligned with the Dubai Plan 2021 and the UAE's Vision 2021. The local authorities, that's the Dubai municipality, has recently initiated a study into the urban heat island effect as part of the climate change strategy to ensure Dubai can meet the challenges of the climate change. Heat islands place greater stress on communities by affecting the summertime peak energy demand, which are the cooling cost, air pollution, greenhouse gas emissions, uh, the related illness, mortality, and water quality. So, to understand this climate, we have to study the temperatures, the impact of how the change happen over a period of time, the monthly aspects, to compare the humidity. We have taken two areas of study. One is the International City and the other is Greens. Both are planned neighborhoods, and that is a reason for taking two comparative areas. Greens is a neighborhood that provides for lush green spaces and landscape areas with apartments and integrates landscape into building design. So what you see here is the layouts which are in cluster form with central spaces, which have landscaping features, which include water bodies and green areas. You can see this, the central connected space, which is like a social interactive hub for people. Then this overlooks the water body with a lot of spaces for pedestrians to walk around and creates a microclimate because of all these landscape features. The International City, on the other hand, has a different layout where the roads are at the periphery and the buildings are at the central layout, what you see here. The access roads and entry exits are separate for each of these clusters. The main difference in both the neighborhoods is that there's a complete underground parking in Greens, whereas here there's on-site parking, surface parking. So the methodology used was through GIS by using the radiance calibrated thermal remote sensing data, aerial images, and advanced GIS model builder with the geoprocessing tools. And to understand all the elements that are part of the land surface. So you've got the different the parcel plots, the green areas, water bodies, parking lots. And then we decided to select 3 months where the temperatures are quite distinct. That is month of August, which is the summer, March is the start of the summer, and December is the winter. So these are some of the graphs that show the difference in temperatures. You can see the difference in the month of August in Greens and International City. This is December, and then this is March. I will run through some of the imagery to understand how the study was in different process and phases. So the methodology included the acquisition of the satellite imagery, to understand correlation matrix of the land surface temperature, NDVI and the NDBI. So these are two components which we have tried to compare, where NDVI is a normalized difference vegetation index and NDBI is a normalized difference built up index. And we had to run through a series of statistics to compare these two factors. What you see here is the special distribution map of the land surface temperature of both the neighborhoods. You can see drastically the difference in the two in temperatures. And also, this was compared from the point of view of NDBI. So this slide demonstrates the NDBI computation, and the next one is on the NDVI. One of the very important result of this research is that the relationship that land surface temperature has with NDVI and NDBI. A land surface temperature increases respectively with the increase in built-up area and vacant land in the study area over years. However, decreases with the increase in vegetation, wetland, and water bodies. So you see the importance of how urban planning and design can really play in creating these spaces for every neighborhood that is designed. And then we look at different strategies of how we can mitigate urban heat island. So very important is the urban greening, where we've got urban parks and creating green roofs. And there's no end to the way innovative thought processes can be applied and implemented for a neighborhood design. What materials we use are very important, because the more reflective surfaces, the lesser is the impact of the heat. So how also you can have these buildings to be more cooler with using the right insulating materials and the right design strategies, the green building design strategies. What urban form could fit in the best in creating street orientations, your roads around, and having corridors that lets in some circulation of air and tries to avoid the impact or these bubbles of warm air that are created. So it's important to also look at various research strategies that many researchers have put in places to understand what can be done to have a thermal comfort, improve the water air quality of the city, improve the urban environment for the future climate change, and reduce the energy demand. So what you also see here is different strategies to have the impact at the local neighborhood first, which will then create the impact on the city as such. So we should start with smaller spaces, the micro spaces, and then look at the bigger picture. Green building codes are very important when we are considering guidelines for UHI. The Dubai Green Building Code says that for all new buildings, 50% of the hardscape should demonstrate a solar reflective index of at least 29. A open grid pavement system should be having shading by vegetation, shade by materials with an SRI equal to or greater than 78, or combination of both, whether it is a LEED certification or the UAE's Estidama. It's important that architectural elements for shading, for parking spaces, for reflectance ratios, vegetation have to be followed. Otherwise, it won't have a holistic approach to combat and mitigate UHI. This is one of the research which is on understanding the efficiency of the urban forms and how it can be also more energy efficient, as well as can create walkability. So when you're doing these studies, it's important to know that the form is just not for social purpose, but it's a lot about having the environmental context in place to have forms and layouts that increase vegetative cover, that also have surfaces that do not add up to the heat in the surroundings. So efficiency of urban systems, form and layout, heat resistance construction, vegetative cover are very, very important. And as an architecture student, if you start from your architectural design projects right at these strategies from the basic concept level, I think your studies or your projects can do really wonders. Consider the right materials because they are the ones that really add on to the urban heat. Green roofs are important with as well as the urban green infrastructure where you've got green walls and so many ways to make the surroundings really lush green. Vertical farming, many cities have adopted this. I'm sure everyone's aware of that. And also, it's important how do you create and various strategies which are at building level, roof level, surroundings, spaces, technologically, socially, environmentally. So there is no end to what you can think, but at the same time, it's important to get all together at a local level. So I come to the conclusion of this presentation. How can we retrofit the existing built environment? Can we change what is there? Of course we can. How do we change it? Design it with a lot of sustainable features, make it climate responsive, at the same time collaborate with every stakeholder, urban planners, developers, the local authorities, yes, most important, the users. So, what is the way forward is all up to us, the architects, the designers, the urban planners. We are the ones who can change our cities of tomorrow and make a difference. I'm just going to leave with one video for you, just a thought for you for the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bhakti Moore, for a wonderful session. We will now be taking a short break to play our sponsor's video and we'll be back with our next speaker.
I have great pleasure in welcoming you all for the Let's Connect program of Nippon Paint India Private Limited. This program is specifically developed for the architect and the interior designer community to be part of the Nippon Paint family. Nippon Paint, as you all know, is part of the NIPSEA group, which is 137 years old, originated from Japan, and we have widely spread into all the Asian countries. In India, Nippon Paint was started in the year 2006, and that's when Indian Green Building Council was gaining momentum, and since the DNA of Nippon Paint is green, so we joined them in their campaigning of green initiatives, and we became the founding member of IGBC, Indian Green Building Council. And right from 2006 onwards, we have been associated with all their initiatives towards sustainable products and services, and we are the first company to be registered and certified as Green Co for all our manufacturing process, and the products which come out of the factory is also certified as Green Pro. Through this Let's Connect program, we would like to take your unique ideas and your projects through video shoots and sound bites to the industry people and to the audience who are eagerly waiting. Through this Let's Connect program, we create an opportunity for you to share your unique ideas and success stories. You will also have an access to be part of the AYDA program of Nippon Paint and also into various architectural conferences, CSR activities what Nippon is carrying out in this country. AYDA is a very unique initiative of Nippon Paint, wherein it encourages and enriches the young architect and interior designing students across Asia, and we call this as Asia's Young Designer Award, wherein we want experts like you to mentor them. Through this program, we also create an opportunity for you to meet your peers and work with them closely across the globe. This platform also allows you to create an access to the tools and product information of Nippon Paint, and also there will be a dedicated Nippon team working closely with you. I once again take this opportunity to welcome you all into this Let's Connect program for a mutually beneficial experience. Let's connect.
Welcome to the course Color Psychology. The first module, The Background of Color, will give you an overview of multiple perceptions in color. We will learn about the scientific background.
I have scientific proof that white light is composed of 7 component colors view.
Understand basics of color theory. Take inspirations from colors in nature.
Context matters, you know.
Teleport to different time zones to get historical perspectives of color.
Is Greek architecture devoid of colour? Isn't it completely white?
And finally, dig deep into the human mind to get psychological perspectives of color. We will then go on to explore color in various spatial typologies of architecture and interiors. A transition from theory to practice would happen in the last module on practice and application of color. The journey would be immersive with fun quizzes and activities along the way. Join us in this colorful, fun-filled journey.
Hey!